once you win it, and you've got to go all the way to the end.
Lando into the final corner, his first win of the championship. Lando across the line to win in China.
Because you commit yourself to such a level where there is no compromise. You give everything you have.
The strategy paid off. He had one of the best hits I've ever seen on the medium tires. Nick Vildellen wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Nathan was the final chicane. Rudy's trying to go for it on the inside. There's still both wheels of order. Megan Will's old school's gone round.
Oh my word!
And you need more than anything a very clear mind to understand exactly when is the moment to be aggressive, when is the moment to be calculated.
He spun. Brendan's
Oh, wing image. Oh, Brendan's out.
He's out of race. Oh my God, he's out of race.
When you are under a lot of pressure, in a critical moment, in a championship or in a particular race, it's the one that can put together the combination between aggressivity and calculating things that will get the best result.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for round number 15 of 17 in season number 6. Of course, we are, as you can see on your screens, riding around Baku for tonight. My name is Jacob, taking you guys through this as always. This time around, we don't actually have Daka with us. We've got a much better, I suppose, QVR member. I know Daka's not part of it anymore, but we've got a much better person here with us tonight. We have got Verstappen, my friend. How are you doing this evening?
Well, first of all, thank you for the praise, Jack, and I'm sure everyone will agree with that. Yeah, I'm doing quite well. I'm looking forward to this race. Baku is quite entertaining, so glad to be back into the box for this.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been your first com actually this season, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, you know, it's good to see you back in the com box. I think he was obviously doing it a few times sort of last season, but yeah, back in it for tonight as well, just covering for Dan. So, yeah, it's good to have you back in, my friend, and hopefully we'll see you sort of sometime next season as well. But enough about that. We have, of course, got Baku for tonight, and this championship is really starting to heat up now. So we're now towards the business end of this championship. The top two of Knuth and Packer is well, as I said, it's all heating up. It's 35-point difference, and I've been told as well, 17-point difference. If Knuth outscores Packer by 17 points, then Knuth will become the Division 2 champion. We've already had Division 1, Division 3, and Division 5 wrapped up. Division 4, I think, is only just still going on for championship-wise, but 1, 3, and 5 have all been wrapped up now. And yeah, we've still got Division 2 to try and decide that. So I suppose we will either see it tonight or, at most, maybe next race over at Japan. But as I said, Knuth is the one on top with 205 points, and Packer in second with 170. I'll take you through the rest just whilst I'm waiting to get loaded into qualifying. Killer Blue is in third with 122. In fourth is Carmentis with 114. Zarma in fifth with 112. TDB in sixth with 99. With Kunblai in seventh with 92. Maleditis in eighth with 89. Gary in ninth with 69. And Old School rounding out that top 10 with 54 points to his name as well. Rest of the guys down below, we've got Tibos in 11th with 47, Rudy in 12th with 42, Scream in 13th with 40, Nolan in 14th with 37, Assassin in 15th with 28, Nico in 16th with 24, Hardy in 17th with 24, Slash in 18th with 16, Peter in 19th with 11, and then Iwan Baka in 20th with 10 as well. Coxie in 21st with 10, tied with Iwan Baka, and then Dylan in 22nd with 5 points. Caesar, Pro Swedler, and Brad all yet to pick up any sort of points on the board. So we may end up seeing them trying to pick up some sort of points tonight if they are actually going to be racing. I think this is Pro Swedler's going to be racing for tonight, so he may end up picking up a set of points for tonight. But yeah, I mean, we were just chatting about it before we started the stream. Yeah, I mean, this whole championship. You said this is not a strong track of Packers.
No, I know he's not been enjoying it in practice at least. So We'll have to see if he can maybe challenge here. I don't know if he's maybe found some pace in the last hour or so. Of course, he's been doing D4 comps. Maybe that's been helping. So you never know. But yeah, interested to see if Knuf is quite quick here. Because obviously he has to outscore. I think it's 18 points actually.
Yeah.
He has to score Packer by. So we'll see if he can manage to do that. It's not all written in the books yet.
That's very true. Yeah, sorry, 18 points, not 17 points. My apologies. It's if it's 17 points, then they go dead on to 52 points, and literally any sort of point that Knuf would score at Japan would just mean that he has won the title. But yeah, so if Knuf wins tonight, because he's been on some sort of form, he has had 2 wins and a second place in the last 3 races. So with both Monza and Mexico having the fastest lap, so. I don't know. I feel like this could be a very tricky one for Packer, to be honest with you. I feel it's only a matter of time before Knuf has won this championship. I don't know if you maybe feel the same way. Obviously, I know you're probably rooting for your QVR boy, but yeah, I feel like it's a tight one to me, to be honest with you. As I said, it's just a matter of time before Knuf ends up taking a title, I think.
It looks likely to be like that. As Knuf, yeah, like you said, the form is on his side. And Packer has to find something from deep, I think, to even get close to the Alfa Romeo driver.
Certainly do. So we've also got a few guys out on out laps at the moment. It's looking all dry at this present moment. I haven't been told if there's going to be any rain or anything like that. So I'm going to be under the assumption that it is all dry for quali and the race. It's looking like it's all dry anyway, so that is good to see. And I think we're going to be seeing quite a few guys try and well, obviously we'll go for a set of the soft tyres. I know the mediums are relatively similar to the tyres or the soft tyres, so we may see a couple guys once they've done a lap on the set of softs, maybe try and go and do a lap on a set of the mediums. I think there's like a 6/10 difference, if I'm not mistaken, between softs and mediums, so yeah, we'll keep our eye out on them. But of course, the one that's usually out at the beginning, it is the QVR Packer. He is just come around the final corner. I don't like to count these as corners because it is just one straight, well, it's just all full throttle. So we'll ride on board with the American, of course, trying to chase down, or one of the championship protagonists, sorry, trying to chase down, of course, our championship leader, Packer. Now up towards the line, going to be starting his lap, trying to break out around the 100 meter board for this first corner. Is he going to take this very nicely? He certainly does a little bit of a lock up for the American, but done very nicely. And as I say that, he runs the tiniest bit wide, and that's his lap now invalidated. So I think he's still going to carry it on anyway, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be too happy with that one. We have got the other QVR driver of Kunblai though, who is out on his lap and didn't invalidate at the first corner though, yeah.
No, he hasn't. He's now towards turn 3. He's open to DRS. And maybe an overtaking spot, but it's difficult breaking around the 100 meter board in 3rd gear. Gets a bit close to the wall there, not too smooth. Now down towards turn 4, 3rd gear, hold it through. The key here is trying to find a good rhythm and not overdriving the car. 34.6. We're going to be seeing quicker first exit times, I think, through 5 and 6. Very difficult combination. Now towards turn 7. Have to cut the inside a little bit on the exit. It's important to get good traction towards a very tight section of the castle, all the way down towards turn 12 here, where the exit is once again very important. One long, well, you can call it straight. There's 2 corners in it, turn 13 and 14, which are easily flat in these cars. And now down towards turn 15, very difficult technical corner as well. In real life, there's a lot of crashes in qualifying here. Couldn't keep it nicely through though. And now down towards turn 16, last proper corner before the long run on towards the straight. It's not been the quickest lap so far. Now down towards turn 18, 19 and 20. And opening up the DRS, we'll probably see speeds around 330 kilometers an hour. Let's see what time he can do.
Yeah, so Kunblai, sorry, the other K, making his way up towards the line. DRS now wide open for the Dutchman, and up towards the line. It's a 38.8 as a banker lap. That's not a bad banker lap, although saying that, that's been completely taken out of the water because TDB, a 38.249. What a lap time that is for TDB. Knuf slotting in behind him with a 38.489. Gary putting it into third with a 38.802 of his own. And Emily Scream, a 42.0 is probably, well, I don't think that's... a lap that's going to be sort of representable for him. So I think he's going to do what I said, may try and go on a set of the mediums just to try and get a lap done around them. Nolan into 5th with a 38.915. Hardy in 6th with a 39.170. And Krico, the other Emily driver in the Ferrari, doing a 39.3. Pro Swindler in his 2nd race in the League of Europe into 4th, and now gets instantly beaten by Ariel Coxey with a 38.5 as well, as Pro Swindler just going quite a bit deep in towards turn 1. Killer Blue crossed the line to put it into P5 as TTG Slash with an absolute great bank lap, as Killer Blue's already out of the session, out of turn 1. He's just, I think, gotten too heavy on the power and gone completely round, and that's already his qualifying over and done with. The best he can get now, yeah, is P5.
That's a very old crash. He just finished his lap, and I guess just got caught in the curb, or yeah, maybe as you said, too early on the photo. I don't know, odd one, but he is out of session, and as you said, won't be getting higher than 5th place. Just looking around, is there anyone on the lap at the moment? Backer's getting back into the pits. Saudama and Maledictus are just starting the laps. I think we have to look at Dope Lev, who's just coming around the S's now. Let's see where he will get. He takes quite a wide line through those S's. I was quite confused by that for a bit. Now towards the line, let's see, DRS will be opening around. Here's where the overtakes will be in the race as well. So watch out for that. Across the line, Haas goes a 1:39.014, gets him into P10.
Yeah, not too bad of a lap. Like you were saying as well, he went very wide through those S's, so I'm not too sure what that was about, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I mean, he's still in P10 anyway, 39.014, not a bad lap at all. Hopefully he can try and improve on that one. Maybe trying to take the apex on the S's might help. But yeah, riding on board at the moment with XL Zadama now, down in 18th. He hasn't been set up as of yet, but he's just come through the castle section and taken that very, very nicely, has the Dutchman. Mark in the chat saying, let's go Zadama, Sugar Daddy Racing. So we've obviously got his teammate in here for support for tonight. Obviously, yeah, Mark not being able to race for tonight. Now coming over the bump, or coming down the hill, probably one of the trickiest corners on the circuit, even though it is almost like a 90-degree left. It's very, very tricky. A lot of people probably tend to go quite wide there and get their wing broken. Come out the final corner and now through the S section, where it is completely flat out, taking a lot more of that inside than what Dope Lev was. And now Zaldemar coming up towards the line. It is a very, very long run up to the line. DRS now wide open for the Dutchman. We're just going to stick on board with him as he makes his way up towards the line. Now Zaldemar does a 38.978 and drops down Dope Lev into P11, and Zaldemar now up into that P10 spot. Maledictus though, I think might have backed off because he's going, well, I don't think a 42 or anything like that is very representative for the Portuguese driver. So yeah, he's backed off and gone straight into the pits. So yeah, Maledictus still without a time on the board, and 4 other drivers without a time on the board, and one of them being our championship protagonist, a QVR Packer.
Yeah, we obviously saw him invalidate his first run, the exit of turn 1, so that's not a great way to start off his qualifying session. We'll have to see if he can get a lap in. I don't know if he will. But he is the first one, once again, on the track, so we'll have to wait till he gets to the line so he can start a lap. A bit of a quiet point, obviously. Everyone just go in for their second runs overall, I think, and just trying to get a bit more of a push lap in, as the first lap will usually be the bankers and not 100% under the limits. Now QVR Packer just lining up to start his lap onto the very large back straight.
Yeah, so let's have a look. The American going to try and make a bit of a redemption for that first lap, obviously invalidating at the at the exit of the first corner. As weird as it is very easy to do, because you want to try and maximise the amount of track you can at the exit of turn 1. So let's have a look. The American now starting his lap again, the 100 meter board, breaking it very nicely, keeping it in 4th gear, and took as much as he can this time without invalidating. So nicely done from Packer. Through turn 2, just before the 50 meter board, again locking up quite a bit into turn 2, but very nicely done anyway. And you can see, ironically, the other championship leader just sort of getting passed by him. But yeah, Packer now coming up in towards turn 3, again around the 100 meter board. One is just breaking down in towards into 3rd gear. Very nicely done from Packer. Again, a little bit of a lock up going through there, but yeah, Packer doing a very nice job so far. Let's have a look at what his first sector time is. It is a 34.5, and apparently that is purple in sector 1. Now through the tight and twisty section of this track, Packer, he needs to try and keep this out of the walls, because this is going to be where it's all to sort of play for. A lot of time can be gained, especially through this castle section. Around the 50-meter board, keeps it in 4th gear. Bit of a lock-up going into it, though. I don't know if that was on his screen as well, but it was definitely on mine. Short shifting up into 4th to get ready for this triple left-hander, shall I say. Again, full flat out for him, and keeps that done very, very nicely. Now over the bump, and again keeps it out of the wall, so nicely done for the American. Now up towards the final corner, as I would like to call it, and again a massive lock-up going through there. I don't know if that's what's showing on his screen, but definitely is on mine. And now through the S section, Packer, it's looking like a very nice tidy lap so far. Obviously, I don't think you're seeing the lock-ups on his screen, but it's showing it on mine for sure. And yeah, up towards the line he comes. DRS now wide open for him as he approaches the line. This is looking like this could be around where Gary and Kuhnblei's times are, and in fact it is just up ahead of him. It's a 38.563, so nicely done from Packer. Matt Tibos is coming up towards the line, and well, I was saying it was around Gary and Kuhnblei's for Packer. He's just completely smashed that one as TDB 37.819, and Gary putting it up into P2 with a 38.272. So TDB improving more on that time and putting it on pole position so far. Very nice lap from the Dutchman.
Yeah, he's 4/10 clear of the rest of the field as Kuhnblei goes into P4 with a 48.4. Decent lap of him. Nolan's just getting back into the pits. I think it's Scream who's just starting a lap. And we have Excel Hardy, who's also, I think, backed off of his lap, might have made a mistake. So he is going to try and get back into the pits and maybe try again later.
Yeah, there is one that is also on his lap, that is Pro Sweeler. I don't know if that's actually, if he is on a representative time. I think it's looking like he is.
He is, 2/10 up.
Yeah, so let's have a look. Pro Sweeler, the Swede driver, making his way up towards the line. Of course, in that Red Bull, DRS now wide open for him. If he's 2/10 up, this will put him around where Kuhnblei and Slash are. This will split them and goes into P4. He certainly does. A 38.304 for the Swedish driver. Very nicely done from him indeed. Someone else is just, I think, on a lap or starting a lap. That is TTG Slash, in fact, who is, he's backed off of his lap, so he's not going to be able to try and get anything done with that one. A few other guys out on laps. Canute, our championship leader, it's been a bit of a reverse this time because now he's invalidated on his second run, so he's not going to look to improve on that time at all, and probably just going to make his way swiftly into the pits. Another QBR driver just making an improvement as well. Maledictus up into 6th with a 38.471, so the Portuguese driver now managing to actually get a time on the board, and everyone now, of course, having times on the board. Carmental is putting in a 40.0 on a set of the mediums, and Emily Scream, of course, out on track at the moment. I think is improving on his lap time as well. So right, we'll keep on board with the German driver, making his way through the S's now, because it's looking like he is going to be finishing on this lap as well. We'll see what he's able to do on the set of soft tyres, because this could be a decent looking time, if I do say so. As he makes his way up towards the line, it's looking like it could be around where Tibos and Nolan are, and it certainly is. A 38.719 for Emily Scream. So P11, not a bad starting position to say the least, because you will be the first one on that reverse strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And starting on the mediums might be quite a bit of a favourable thing here, because the softs do go off quite quickly here. That's a thing to look out for. I think Doblev is on a lap. He is almost 2/10 up. He's struggling a bit again. He's closer to the curbs this time for the S's. So third time round, I reckon he's going to hit them. Open up the DRS, so let's see. Is he going to finish lap? Yes, he is. He's just taking... No, he's not. Okay. That's quite odd, because he was 2/10 up, so that would have put him around P12. But yeah, he's decided to back off for some reason.
Very strange indeed. But yeah, Doblev still just going to remain in P15 at the moment at 39.014. 5 minutes left to go off the session, and at the moment it is NSX TDB out on pole. Gary going to be alongside him, Slash in third, and Pro Sweeler in fourth, rounding out those front two rows. TDB just looking like a class on his own at the moment. 4/10 of a second up ahead of the next driver of XL Gary, and I know Gary is quite fond of this track as well, so yeah, that's a very, very good time from NSX TDB, and I'm assuming that we may even see him just go for another improvement. I'm surprised though he hasn't tried to help out his teammate of Canute, trying to just sort of qualify as high as he possibly can to try and, you know, at least maximise the amount of time and amount of points that he can get up ahead of QVR Packer. But I wonder if that's why Canute has gone out first. Maybe TDB is going to be going out very soon, and he's going to get that toe on the final lap.
definitely a possibility. I would just like to mention that TDB mentioned that he was, as I call it, awful at this track. So it is shown that it's quite contradictory to what he is saying and a future reference for whatever he says in the future. In the meantime, we have Exo Hardy, who is the only one on outlap at the moment, and he is just about to start as he comes up towards turn 1, decent on the brakes, third gear up to 4th, maximizes the track on the exit, and now down towards turn 2, down to 2nd gear, and it looks quite nice all around there on the exits, and now down towards turn 3, DRS open, and around the 100 meter boards. Risk a lot with that curve. The entry curve can be quite a dangerous one if you don't hit it correctly, but he does seem to. And down to turn 4, he's quite low gear to around Hardy does, so that might be favourable to him. First second time he is 2/10 up in his own time. Struggled through turn 5 and 6, though not maximizing the entirety of the track, and now it's down towards turn 7 as we have yellow flags. I think that's just McLaren going slowly. Bit of a wobble on the exit from Hardy, and now towards the castle section. Looks very nice, although it is quite conservative here and there. And now in the exits, power is down quite nicely again towards the 2 flat-out left-handers, and towards the turn 15, the one used to be able to cut, but now, oh, he trays it definitely. He definitely trays it, but I don't think he gained too much time of that. He's 7,000 up, takes a bit too much of that curve on the last corner, last proper corner then, and I don't think he'll be improving looking at that, but you never know, maybe his previous run was a bit worse even, as he scramps the wall there a little bit. Let's see what time he's going to do across the line. Is he going to improve? No, he's backed off, he's going back into the pits.
Yeah, I don't blame him, to be fair. Like, just that castle section alone, or the second sector, shall I say, just going over that bump, I think that completely ruined his lap. So, yeah, Hardy, best he's now going to be is in P16, unless if Creco and Carmentis don't actually out-qualify him as well. Our championship leader, though, is going to be the first one across the line to complete a lap. So, Knuth now making his way around the final corner, and he's almost 4/10 of a second up on his time. And he is getting that toe from TDB. You can see TDB just up in front of him, so he's going to try and go for this pole position up ahead of his teammate. Is TDB going to be able to give him that slipstream that he needs? DRS is going to be open for the German very, very soon. TDB's, of course, also going to be starting a lap of his own, so he needs to try and make sure he doesn't get in the way. Knuth is probably going to pull off to the left if need be, but Knuth up towards the line, and it's a 37.938 for the German, and puts it into P2. Gary, I think, is also on a lap, as I said, TDB just starting a lap. A load of other guys now on laps of their own, and I believe, is it Dope Lev or TTG Slash, in fact, is going to be the first one across the line, and just beats out Knuth with a 37.876. I'm still riding the board with the Irishman, though, because he's a 10th and a half up on his time around that final corner. So Gary now making his way through the S section. He hasn't got any slipstream advantage like Knuth did on that previous lap, so Gary's just going to have to try and do it all on his own. And I think if he still does a 10th and a half up on his time, it's still going to put him in P4, but he's going to be at least a bit more difficult to beat for that P4. So Gary up towards the line, and yeah, 38.141 as Pro Sweeler in 5th position crashes at the exit of the castle section. I believe that was Nolan as well that was following him, puts it into P6 with 38.411, of course first time podium sitter in Division 2 last week, and definitely made a statement about that. But yeah, Nolan, decent lap time for him up in the P7 as Ariel Coxey just bests him now. So 2 relentless drivers both going at it, both pretty good friends as well, I'm pretty sure. Coxey just beating him into P6, so Aston Martin now up into 6th position, and loads of other guys just making their way across the line, and I believe Packer is one of them. Packer, in fact, backs off, so he doesn't want to be starting inside of that top 10, and to be honest, I do not blame him. Maledictus has completely backed off of his lap time as well. Gunblai, I believe, is going to be the next one across the line, as Creco only puts into P14 with a 38.810. Here we go, though. Gunblai up towards the line. Is it going to be in any contention with the top 5 guys? It's still only in P6 by 400ths of a second, as who was that just made that improvement? That was Carmentalist, best in Packer, and MLE Scream up into 5th place with a 38.303. So, I mean, amazing lap time from Scream to put himself into that top 5, because that's 1,000th of a second. He's now just out-qualified the Swedish driver of Pro Sweedler.
Yeah, and I think that's all, to be honest. I think every driver has now completed their laps. Unless Tibbles is on one. No, he's not. So TDB is on pole by about 600.
Yeah, so TDB, extremely fast lap time. He didn't even want to look to improve on that time, as you said. So, yeah, very good lap from TDB, to say the least. Slash, though, I've got to give you credit, because I think that's the highest I've seen him qualify so far this season. Yeah, up into second position, a 37.876. I think this is a favourable track for the Haas drivers. So, very nice lap time from him, splitting the two Alfa Romeos as well, and I'm sure the two QVR boys of Kumbla and Packer are going to be quite happy that Slash is there, sort of splitting them. But yeah, Knuth and Gary are lining up on that second row, Scream and Pro Sweeler on that third row, Kumbla and Coxie on the fourth row, Nolan and Doplev on that fifth row. Maledictus gets his fresh, or gets a first, or is the first one, sorry, that has a fresh set of tyres to choose from. And Carmentalist in 12th with Packer in 13th. Killer Blue, after qualifying on 5th originally, DNFing at the exit of the first corner after his qualifying lap. Probably a bit of a rookie error for him, because I don't think he's going to be too happy by doing that. But again, I've seen where Knuth has started in that position and, well, has won the race, so anything can happen in this race.
Yeah, definitely. And it's Baku. A lot of chaos can happen. I think if anyone watched the other divisions, that's certainly the case has been. But I'll run you through the grid now. Yeah, TDB and Slash on the front row, then Knuth and Gary on the second row. Scream and Pro Sweetler, only 1,000 between them for 5th and 6th, and Kumbla and Coxie in 7th and 8th, and Nolan and Doblev running at the top 10. And on the first set we have Maledictus, Carmentalist, Packer, Killer Blue, Kriko, Tibbles, Zedema and Hardy in last place in 18th.
Yeah, so very close times between all of those guys. Obviously 1.3 seconds splitting the entire field. Hardy, I don't think, was quite happy with that last lap. As I said, 2 tenths up on his lap originally would have still put him at least up ahead of Zaldema and maybe even Matt Tibos if he would have gotten that right. But yeah, Hardy, I think, probably going to be kicking himself for that one, starting at the very back of the grid. But TDB back on pole position. He's not exactly had the best of run in the last few races. I mean, his last few races we didn't get any points in Monza. Got 1 point at Imola and 8 points at Mexico, so P6 that is. So yeah, those two, I think he's going to be trying to look for a bit of a bounce back for this race as well. And I think there's no better opportunity than for Baku for tonight, to be honest with you. Starting on pole position, it's not a very long run up towards turn 1, so yeah, I think things are going to get a bit interesting coming into this year.
Well, one thing that could be interesting as well, I think, because Carmentalist did a lap on mediums at the start of the qualifying session, he might have a fresh set of softs left, so that could benefit him in definitely in the last stint if it becomes safety car free, or a safety car would come out around those laps. So one to look out for, I'd say.
Yeah, wow, 100%. So yeah, we're just waiting for all those guys just to pick their strategies and how much fuel do they want to chuck in that car as well. Probably, I think it's usually around that 1.2 to 1.5 amount of fuel you want to put in there if there's no safety cars. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued how this is going to go. So let's have a look outside that top 10 actually, because you were saying about Carmentalist going on a set of the medium, so probably has a fresh set of softs to go by, and he's in fact going to be starting on a set of the mediums in 12. So in fact the only ones outside of the top 10 going for a set of softs are Killer Blue, Matt Tibos and XL Zadama. And I get the feeling that the only reason why they are doing that is because they're hoping for a very early safety car where they can probably just chuck on a set of mediums and try to go to the end or anything like that. Thing is, the guys on the mediums, they could chuck on the hards if they wanted to and go to the end quite comfortably, because I know you can go soft to medium from like lap 4, but at the same time the mediums will die off quite significantly at the end of the race, whereas the hards probably still feel like they're brand new.
Yeah, I don't think the brand new fresh of the hards will ever go off really, but the pace disadvantage they have, especially at the start of the race, will be massive. So I'd be highly surprised if I see anyone going onto the hards, unless like one of those medium runners is getting an early safety car and has to essentially go for that. But yeah, interesting to see what the soft runners are going to do, because especially like Killer will have a fresh set, obviously only doing one run. So he might gain some positions early on in the race, especially because the guys in the top 10 will not have those fresh sets of softs. They'll have warm sets, and they'll drop off quite early as well.
Yeah, no, certainly will. So as I said, those are probably going to be the three to try and keep our eye out on as this race progresses on. But of course, everyone inside that top 10 on this set of soft tyres. It's whoever's going to get the best run off of the start. Is it going to be TDB? Is it going to be Slash? Or is it going to be Canoe or Gary even behind them? Try and get that run. As I said, it's not a very, very long run at all up into turn 1. It's about 125 metres, if I'm not mistaken, of a run up towards turn 1. So, yeah, I think it's... I think if TDB can just sort of get a decent enough start anyway, then he has the opportunity to stay up in front of Slash and his teammate as well. The thing is that's going to really help Canoe is that his championship rival is all the way down in 13th. Granted, he is on the alternate strategy, but I think that's going to give him a massive advantage of thinking, okay, this is going to, you know, I'll be able to try, or I could even win it for tonight. So, Canoe, I think he's going to try and focus on his race, but that will probably be sitting in the back of his mind. But yeah, I think we are about to start getting this one underway. Hardy just coming up to his grid spot, and we shall get this one straight underway. Any sort of prediction? Do you think TDB really quickly?
Yeah, I think TDB could bring this home with his pace.
Certainly could. So it is lights out and away we go for round number 15. And Slash actually getting a better start of TDB, but TDB just swooping around the outside, keeping that lead to say the least. Element Scream trying to line up alongside Gary to go in towards turn 2, sorry, but Gary, the Irishman, is just going to stay up ahead. Pro Sweeler and Kunblai also going at it, basically 2 by 2, going in towards turn 2. As there's been a bit of a spinner at the back. That is Matt Tibos down now into P17. Zadam not exactly having the best of starts either, as Canoe getting in front of his fellow TTG teammate, as in fact Pro Sweeler and Kunblai both going at it as well, going in towards turn number 3. And I think Kunblai's just going to hold on to that position indeed. Nolan and Maledictus even further back. Maledictus having a very good start up into 10th already on those medium tyres, and Carmental getting past Dopelev as well. I wonder if Dopelev has actually got some sort of damage on that front right. From what I've just seen, he potentially does, but very clean start considering his Baku. That was a very good start overall, but TDB already has a 1 second gap from his teammate out in front.
Yeah, he's gone off to a rapid start, and Slash as well. He's dropped up a second towards Canoe as well. So TDB has about a 2.5 seconds gap to Slash at the moment. As Kilbu and Packer swapping places here. I don't know how that's happened. Packer seems to have damage.
Oh no, that's not good for his championship hopes at all. Yeah, front right end plate damage. You can see that on that front right of his car. So Packer, I think he can already feel those championship hopes fading away. Canoe now back within DRS of his teammate. Of course, they're not going to be in DRS for the next 2 laps, but look at the gap. Those 2 Alfa Romeos have already pulled out to the rest of the grid. 2 seconds up ahead of Slash in 1 lap. Those 2 Alfa Romeos are absolutely flying. Yeah, Slash into the pit. So Slash must have had some sort of damage on that first lap. We're of course going to see Packer come in as well, and I think he might have to chuck on a set of hards, or maybe go for another set of mediums and do a 2-stop to go to the end of the race. But yeah, TDB and Canoe completely shut off. Gary now up into 3rd, Scream pressuring him on 4th, Kunblai in 5th, Pro Sweeler in 6th, Coxie and Nolan both in 7th and 8th, Maledictus in 9th, and Carmental is round out that top 10. Killer Blue in 11th and Dopelev in 12th. And in fact, yeah, as you say now, Hardy and Dopelev both going at it. Hardy going down the inside of Dopelev towards turn 3 and gets a move done. I think we can already start to see the difference from these softs and mediums. I think these softs, they do not last long whatsoever, especially if you've done a qualifying lap on them. They only last really about 4 laps. But in fact, in actual tyre degrading, I suppose, really they're about 1 lap before the mediums are probably a bit of a better tyre than those soft tyres. So we might start to see Maledictus and Carmental making their way up through this field very, very soon. But yeah, I mean, overall, a very clean start.
Yeah, I do think Dopelev has, I think he caught up with some damage in the first lap as Kriko is around to the castle section. So yeah, his front wing is completely gone, and he'll have to go back to the pits with that. That's not going to be easy to drive with, at least towards the pits. Yeah, Dopelev, I think he got damage, and Packer was right in behind him for the castle section. I think I can imagine what has happened there.
Yeah, so obviously Packer's obviously gone into the back of him, so I'm sure Packer is not going to be very happy at all with that one. But yeah, Battle's now going down for 5th place. Kunblai look like it could be overtaken here by Pro Sweeler. Both using their overtake to try and get that advantage. Canoe setting the fastest lap with the race of 42.5. Pro Sweeler going down the inside of Kunblai. Coming up in towards turn 1. Kunblai, I don't think he's going to be able to fight that one back. No, he certainly isn't. Pro Sweeler now up into 5th position. Good move from the Swedish driver now in the Red Bull. And Kunblai, well, I don't think he's going to be done with that. However, Pro Sweeler will have that DRS on the back of Scream. And I'll tell you what, I think Gary might be a bit under pressure from the German because Scream, DRS now wide open for him, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to getting anything done in towards turn 3. However, when that S section comes around in the final sector, we could, or the Irishman could be in a bit of danger. But even further up ahead, Knuth just doesn't want to pass his teammate at the moment. He's just content with just sitting behind him. And I think Knuth is just going to chill behind TDB until the end of the race, where TDB may just let him through, just so at least then he is confirmed for that championship.
The only thing I can imagine that could ruin this is if a safety car does happen, because around this time you would probably imagine they both want to pit. So then the question is TDB just going to give it away and let Knuth pit, or is Knuth going to have to double stack?
I'm sure Knuth is probably he's going to let Knuth go first. There's no way TDB would try and interfere with his teammate in this championship. It's been done before, but I doubt we'll see anything like that. But again, I could be proven wrong, and the Dutchman may try and pull a bit of a fast one over his teammate. So yeah, Scream around now a 1 second gap between himself and Gary, so he's going to be under threat from losing that DRS. He's using his overtake though just to make sure he stays within that DRS. However, it's literally on the cusp, and I think he's lost out as Coxie is out at the S section. So I think he must have gone a bit too hard into it, and there is that a full car safety car? No, it's just virtual. Okay, because doesn't want to show up on the top right for me. But Nolan's just made a pass on
safety car.
Interestingly. Oh,
it's now gonna full cost, and this is very interesting because TDB and Knuth could not pit. They were passive when the VSC was called out, and these guys like Gary, Scream, Pro Sweedler, and Kuhn, they were managing to get into the pits. So they're going to strap on a set of mediums, and now the question is, where are these guys, the Alfa Romeos, going to come out if they do pit?
That's going to be very interesting. Knuth specifically as well, because TDB, if he wants to pit, he'll be fine with pitting, but it's his teammate that was right behind him. So I think Knuth is, you can see 1.5 seconds, he's trying to build up a bit of a gap, where luckily it's not actually affecting anyone at the moment because of the gap that they already had at the front of the grid. But Knuth just backing off from his teammate because he wants to try and take as much of an opportunity to not do a double stack as possible. And as I said, he's got the gap behind him. He's about 4.5 seconds is what Maledictus is behind Knuth. So if he wanted to, he could back off even more and realistically try and almost get the double stack to work almost perfectly, I think.
Well, I don't think the game does really realize that. I think you can reduce the amount, but I don't think you can completely ignore it. So it'll be interesting. And it'll be also interesting to see if guys like Carmentelis, Tibbles and Hardy swap there for a little bit. If guys like Maledictus and Carmentelis will pit as well, or they're just going to stay out. That'll be interesting to see.
I'll tell you what's very interesting. Gary managed to get into that pit literally at the final second. So the Irishman is on his fresh set of medium tyres. You can see the two Alfa Romeos are just making their way up towards the pit. Knuth isn't backing off from TDB, so he's still just staying over the back of him, despite of course having to make that double stack, which is very surprising to me. Carmentalist has stayed out, Maledictus has stayed out as well, so they're going to be in here in the race leaders. Yeah, Matt Tibos down in 7th, picking himself up a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pits. TDB now comes out nice and cleanly. Where is Gary in relation to those guys though?
Oh, look.
Gary's just coming around the first corner and is not in front of TDB, so TDB is still technically in the net race lead, but Knuth, look at how far he has come out. Wow.
Net P9. Net 9th, maybe 8th if Tibbles does decide. Well, he has a 5-second penalty, so he'll drop down the field. And what's also interesting, look who's in 14th. 2 places behind Knuth, we have Kiefer Paka now. So the championship rivals are very close together once again on track.
Yeah, so it all somehow works out that way. I don't know how, it just does. So, yeah, very nicely done for well, for Packer, in fact, to get himself back up in the 14th and only 2 places off of his championship rival. I'm sure Knuth will still somehow find a way to win this race, but yeah, TDB is technically our net race leader, but Maledictus not making a pit stop as of yet, neither as Car Mentalist or XL Hardy. They're going to try and take these mediums very long to try and go on the set of the softs at the end of the race. So we'll keep an eye out and see who's going to be trying to do that for, well, if they're going to be able to get a few more positions once the safety car has come out of, safety car's come in, sorry, and made their pit stops as well. But at the moment, yeah, TDB is the one that is in the race lead. Gary in second. A Pro Sweeler manages to make his way up into third position. Again, though, it literally only takes another safety car to come out, and that could really ruin the rest of the guys on the set of mediums, and that could really help out Maledictus, Car Mentalist and Hardy, where it's a bit more damage limitation, where they won't lose as many positions as what they would have done if the safety car hadn't come out, if that makes sense. So yeah, I feel like they're just going to either try and play it into another safety car, or they're going to pit around lap 20 and go on a set of softs at the end of the race.
Yeah, we could see things like that indeed, and but something that usually happens is that one safety car comes out, another will very soon, especially like around a track like Baku, where it's not easy to go side by side or fight at all. It is very likely that we'll see another safety car at some point. Now the grid is completely bunched up. Got some different strategies, obviously, with the top 3 being on those mediums from the start, and the other guys all having basically fresh mediums. It'll be interesting to see also if TDB can get his way through this guys quite easily, because he did seem to have incredible pace at the start of the race. But can he carry that over towards when the safety car does come in?
I suppose we better wait and see, hadn't we? Because I believe everyone is now pretty much on the back of the safety cars. So yeah, I suppose that it will be coming in at the end of this lap. Of course, Maledictus will be the one leading up ahead of Car Mentalist and Hardy, who have yet to make their pit stops. The only 3 that haven't made a pit stop yet. Just how they're going to do that restart. And realistically, I think Maledictus, he's going to need Car Mentalist and Hardy to try and help him out if he wants any chance of being able to just do that damage limitation. Of course, they aren't really going to be helping each other out, but Maledictus really is just going to have to hope that Hardy does try and hold him up as much as possible if he wants an opportunity of getting a decent result for tonight. The only thing as well, like you said, Packard, he's 2 places behind his championship rival of Knuth. Knuth, I feel like the Alfa Romeo's kind of fumbled on their strategy. I'm surprised when they've seen Coxey DNF, or when they've seen a retiree, one of them just didn't make their way into the pits, to be honest with you, especially on lap 3 as well, because I'm pretty sure you could just about take the mediums to the end of the race if they wanted to. So yeah, I feel like it was a bit of a odd strategy call from the 2 Alfa Romeos, but I mean, it could play out. We don't know.
I mean, at that point, I think they were already past it, and they couldn't really go in into the pits anymore. So because they had such a gap, but the safety car's coming in this lap, so let's see how Maledictus is going to take this restart.
Certainly will. So yeah, Maledictus, the Portuguese driver, now going to be taking us through a safety car restart. So he is, of course, just weaving around through the S's, and in fact, he's going a lot quicker than what I would be expecting him. So yeah, Maledictus just going to be trying to carry it up towards the line. Probably going to try and go as late as possible, but I wonder if Car Mentalist or Hardy are going to be caught out with that. Remember, you cannot overtake until you've gone past the start-finish line, and at the moment, Car Mentalist, he is doing his best to stick with Maledictus, and there you go, Maledictus already going, and Car Mentalist did get caught snapping ever so slightly. So yeah, Maledictus, very good restart indeed, and looks like there's not been any overtakes, so that's good to see. Killer Blue now trying to go down the inside of Kumblai, down in towards turn 1. Kumblai, I think, got squeezed a little bit to the far right, but Killer Blue just going to have to back off that one, and Matt Tibos is now also going to try and come at his teammate, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Kumblai goes into the back of Ariel Nolan ever so slightly as Gary dropped down behind Scream and behind Pro Sweeler. So I don't know what happened to the Irish driver, but Scream now trying to go down the inside of Pro Sweeler in towards turn 3. And TDB almost already getting a gap of about a second up ahead of him. Matt Tibos getting past Knuth as well. So Knuth could not find a way up. And now you've got the 2 championship protagonists going at it with each other. Scream still getting that move done on Pro Sweeler, and the German manages to take a net P2. Gary had an absolute abysmal restart. Killer Blue and Kun Bly getting a few moves done, as Killer Bly, I think, has gotten wing damage. Yeah, front right end plate damage. So both Williams cars have now picked up damage in this race. I think that must have been contact with Gary, because it looked like Gary tried to, go a bit defensive. I don't know if Kun Bly just went into the back of him.
Well, I saw as well, through turn 4, Packer got into the back of Tibbles and he picked up damage as well. Although it may be quite light, I saw a little bit flying off the car of the Williams.
Front
so
left,
that's, yep.
Oh
yeah,
dear,
that's not going to help him at all. It's looking, the downforce is nowhere for those corners. And this is throwing the hands more into favour of Knuf, but you can see anything can happen around here. As said, both Williams kind of drop down the field now. Knuf is looking onto the back of Tibbles though, who may have damaged himself as well. I don't really know. He is basically letting through Knuf here. Tibbles doesn't really have to fight this. Knuf seems to be much quicker. Looking at the front of the field, we have Maledictus and Cartmental is still very close together. So Sidemak's getting past Doblev as well onto onto turn 1. As Doblev tried to switch back, actually, he's using his ERS to try and get alongside, but he can't manage that. And Sidemak takes P13.
Yeah, so good battling down in the field as well. Of course, not even for any points, but still good battling nonetheless between those two guys. A bit further up in the field though, TDB, he still can't seem to find a way past those guys on that started on a set of medium tyres. Though you can see TDB using a little bit of his overtake, maybe trying to go around the outside of turn 4 on Hardy to have the inside for turn 5. Hardy did leave him that room, but TDB did not want to try and risk that. And now Emily Scream is all over the back of the Dutchman, but not going to be able to get any sort of move done coming through turn 6. So yeah, Scream just going to have to back out of that one for now. Very, very close. Sorry, turn 7 was very close. They're coming through the castle section. TDB a little bit of a slide for the Dutchman through the castle section. That looked too close to the wall for him, and narrowly keeps his wing and everything on that car. So he keeps that 4th place at the moment, as Zadama getting past Matt Tibos as well, coming through the triple lefts as well. So I think Tibos must have some sort of damage, because Doblev has also gotten a move done on him as well. Yeah, front left.
Yeah, it does look like he got damaged. Meanwhile, we're seeing TDB now into the back of Hardy, and Scream is right on him as well. So we could see maybe going 3 wide towards turn 1. Scream is definitely using TDB is using, Hardy's using to defend. This is going to be interesting. Can TDB close up enough? No, he can't for now. Hardy seems to have the straight line speed on him. TDB is now trying it towards turn 1 on the outside. He goes. Can he make this one stick? He breaks later, turns in, and makes it just about stick. Good move from TDB round the outside of turn 1 there, but now Hardy's going to get the DRS on towards turn 3, although he does not have a good exit, and Scream is likely to maybe pounce onto the back of the AlphaTauri, although I don't think he's close enough to do that.
No, Scream's got that DRS, but Hardy also got that DRS like you said, so Hardy not going to be able to get any sort of move done, and that's now going to be hindering Scream and Sweedler to try and keep up with TDB. I think Scream needs to get past Hardy ASAP if he wants any chance of being able to still win this race. As Kun Bly now made his way into the pit. Packer made his way into the pits as well eventually. So the two Williams, it's just not been their day for them whatsoever, and this is now the opportunity for Knuf to win this title. He needs 17 points this race, so he needs to get 2nd or 1st, with Packer not getting any points, if he wants a chance of being able to win this championship, or even for Knuf to win and Packer to get I think it was P8? I think it was a P7. If he does, then Knuf has won that championship.
Yeah, it would be P7 indeed. In the meantime, TDB has got a 1.5 second gap on Hardy at the moment, who's having a massive train behind him. Well, TDB is onto the back of Carmentalist, and he'll probably get him down towards the straight. I could imagine so, and maybe even Maledictus quite soon as well, because Maledictus won't have any DRS while the 2 drives in behind Will. Now here comes TDB onto the back of the McLaren. I don't think Carmentalist is going to fight this too hard. Can he get close enough to Maledictus? I think he will. Actually, it's looking like he will. He's hitting it down the inside. Maledictus keeps it alongside. Still, they get side by side towards turn 2. Maledictus is going to have to DRS now. But TDB is ahead for now. Here comes the Portuguese driver though. Can he get him back? He's using the ERS. He's using the DRS as well. And now he goes towards the outside. TDB doesn't have any ERS left to fight with. And Maledictus is going to come out ahead. And he maintains the lead for now.
Very good battling between these top 3 indeed, and TDB just not being able to get anything done. He does go in the back of Maledictus ever so slightly, but TDB just trying to find any way past Maledictus that he can, but he just can't seem to find any sort of way. He got the move done, but it was probably one corner too early to get that move done, because then, as you said, Maledictus instantly got that DRS back from TDB. So yeah, TDB, unfortunately for him, he got up ahead of Mentalist, and he was trying to go for the double. He made it work, but then he just kind of lost it straight away after that. So yeah, TDB, it was a good effort, but now up into second place, and I'm sure he'll probably get him actually on this lap as well. So TDB looking like he's going to be taking the lead of the race once again. Scream closing up to the back of comment list. Now they've managed to drop Hardy as well as Sweetler and Gary. Don't know what happened to Hardy, but he's obviously dropped down 3 positions in that last lap alone. So he's now got another XL driver of Killer Blue hindering the back of him as well. 1.2 seconds separates him and Gary, so I think Killer Blue and maybe even Nolan are going to try and go for this move on Hardy coming up in towards turn 1 and keep
the top.
This battle though. As, in fact, no, we're not, because yeah, TDB now DRS is going to be wide open for him. However, Mentalist has got a lot more ERS to play with than what TDB has, but there you go, TDB now going to get that move done, and I think Mentalist is also going to get that move done on Maledictus as well. So Maledictus now going to be losing up 2 positions, or is he? He's going to try and hold it around the outside of Mentalist in towards turn 1, and Mentalist, I'm surprised he didn't try and put up more of an effort with that one. But Mentalist now down in the 3rd position. He didn't manage to get that move done, but TDB manages to get himself up into the lead of the race. Now he needs to try and do a bit of a defensive maneuver, but I think he has just about gotten away with it, and yeah, he certainly has. So TDB now inheriting the race lead, and he's just going to try and pull away from the rest of that grid as much as he possibly can. Scream all over the back of Mentalist as well, still not being able to find a way past is the Ferrari driver, and neither is Sweetler or Gary. But now Killer Blue 1.3 seconds now behind the little train up in front of him, so he could be left vulnerable from Ariel Nolan, as in fact, yeah, Nolan did also get past Hardy on that last lap.
Yeah, although Skiller doesn't make a mistake, goes quite deep into turn 7, but I think he'll be closing up due to the group ahead being quite bunched up here. Yes, he gets essentially within DRS range already, so I don't think that'll be an issue for him for the time being.
Certainly won't, and even then, look at the Knoof all over the back of Hardy now, coming up towards the bump. Oh, the downhill bump, shall I say, and I don't think the German's going to try and go for anything yet. He wants to try and do this with DRS, because if he's left vulnerable from DRS, then it's just going to completely mess up his race. So Hardy going a bit defensive, going to turn straight back onto the racing line. Was just about legal, I suppose, so yeah, may not want to try and do that too many times, otherwise you'll have an angry German right behind you, which he currently has at the moment. So Knoof now all over the back of him, using that overtake to get this move done. I don't think Hardy's going to be able to try and put up too much of a fight, and even in fact before the DRS is activated, he's gotten that move done. So Hardy, in fact, is now going to be losing out a 2nd position, as TTG Slash now also getting that move done on XL Hardy. Hardy just practically a sitting duck. He hasn't been able to keep with the rest of the other medium runners that have been able to sit in 2nd and 3rd of Maledictus and Mentalist, doing a very good job as well keeping up with TDB despite the pace of that Alfa Romeo in the opening stages of this race.
Well, I do think, looking at TDB's ERS, he doesn't have much more to play with, to be honest. He's about 15% ERS here. I don't think he can really push much more. He's losing quite a bit down the straights, and that might hurt him towards the end of the race, because he can't save it anywhere now that he's in clean air as well.
Yeah, no, he certainly can't, so TDB's just going to have to try and do it in the corners as much as he can. A little bit of a wiggle, though, from the Alfa Romeo just before the castle section. I don't know why, there's a little bit of sparks going on at the beginning of the castle section. I don't know if you can see that on your screen as well, but for me there's just like some sparks going on at the very beginning of the castle, right, at the inside wall. So hopefully that doesn't actually DNF anyone just randomly, but yeah, at the moment TDB still 7 tenths up ahead of Maledictus in 2nd, Mentalist in 3rd, Scream before Sweetler in 5th, Gary in 6th, Killer Blue in 7th, Nolan in 8th, Knoof in 9th, 1.6 seconds behind those top 8, Slash in 10th, Hardy in 11th, Dope 11th, 12th, Zadam in 13th, Krico 14th, Tibos in 16th, and then the 2 Williams, Packer and Kumblai. Again, it's not their races whatsoever today. I think Packer's just got to hope that Knoof doesn't get himself up into that 2nd position, because if he does, then that is championship all wrapped up. But at the moment, TDB just doing a very good job of just keeping up ahead, and Maledictus, he's now starting to burn a bit more of his ERS to try and keep up to the back of the Dutchman. Gap now about 6.5 tenths between the Portuguese driver and the Dutch driver, and even then Mentalist I think is now starting to gain onto the back of the Portuguese driver ever so slightly. He's got a lot more ERS in comparison to those top 2. and even in comparison to, well no, in fact Scream's got around the sort of the same amount as Carmental is behind him, so things could get a little bit interesting as well, probably in the next couple of laps.
Cardi lost a couple more positions and he's about to lose another one, I think, although he might hold this one against Kriko. Squeezes him quite harshly towards the apex, but keeps 13th at the moment. But yeah, at the moment he's just going downhill for the AlphaTauri driver, and he doesn't seem to have any pace to keep up with the rest of the field.
Yeah, no, he certainly doesn't. So, what have you spotted?
I just went on board with Gary, and I saw Pro Sweetler right ahead, hitting the wall in the castle section. Quite heavy as well, and he's now going to get overtaken by the drivers in behind, I reckon, and he's understeering into the wall. Killer, Nolan, and Knuf are going to all get through. And yeah, that's really unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, because he was on such a good run at the moment, and yeah, just unfortunate that it just goes lost by one mistake.
That's what can happen around this track especially. Yeah, Pro Sweetler front right end plate damage, you can see that on the front right of his car. Not really got too much wing left on that side, so yeah, unfortunately for Pro Sweetler, the Swedish driver, in his second race, and he's just completely taken off his wing. So yeah, completely understood it. I'm surprised that I didn't give him any, or didn't take off his tyre, but Pro Sweetler now gonna have to make his way into the pits, especially after absolutely punting the wall.
What's happened? TDB's round.
Oh!
TDB went round after turn 1, and I don't know if he reset the track, but I think he might have. I don't want to assume anything. Knuf has gone in. That I found an interesting one. Why has he gone in?
I don't quite know. I wonder if he picked
What he may have, yeah, because he obviously had to pass Pro Sweetler as well. May he have picked up some damage himself?
I don't quite know, to be honest with you. What we missed out of all of that, though, Maledictus picked himself up a time penalty as well. I don't know if that was a 3 second. Yeah, it was a 3 second penalty. So, yeah, I really don't know. Just a load of serious unfortunate events just happened. Hardy going
is
around,
also spun.
Yeah, turn 2. So, yeah, AlphaTauri driver. Just not been his way at all for tonight. Having that spin at turn 2, especially because he's just put on a fresh set of tyres. Was that a wing I just saw in the middle of a straight? I think someone might have some
honestly
wing damage.
could have. I have to keep an eye on that for then for the next couple of laps. Meanwhile, we have the top 3 quite close to get in. This essentially promotes Emily Scream into a winning position at the moment.
Yeah, so Scream, he hasn't picked himself up a win, I think, at all in the League of Europe. So this looks like this could be on for his first win. It's either that, or Gary is somehow going to get himself a win for tonight. He's 1.3 seconds behind the German driver in the Ferrari. As Carmentalist getting that move done on Maledictus. Maledictus now running out of that ERS, and Carmentalist has enough, so he manages to stay up ahead. Yeah, TDP coming into the pit, so I think he must have hit the wall somewhere when he had that spin at turn 1. But Carmentalist now going to be a bit vulnerable from Maledictus, and I wonder if we're going to see Scream maybe try and go for some sort of move. Here you go, Maledictus though, going down the inside of Carmentalist into wall turn 3. I think Maledictus, the Portuguese driver, is going to hold on to that one. Carmentalist breaks though just to let him through, and Scream almost goes into the back of him, but this is all holding him up, and this means that Gary's going to have the opportunity to try and catch back up. Scream trying to look for anywhere possible to try and get through, but yeah, like I said, Gary's now going to be basically dragged back into this DRS. Scream wants to try and get past these guys so quickly, but unfortunately, just there is no way through for the Ferrari driver. And as I said, Gary is now back within the DRS of Emily Scream. So now it's all to play for in who is going to be taking this win for tonight, especially when those top 2 come in.
Yeah, definitely, because then the pack will be unleashed and we'll see everyone's true pace, essentially. Unless Scream can, or someone here can get past these 2, which does seem quite impossible at the moment.
I'll tell you what makes this interesting though. If you look at the ERS of Scream in comparison to Gary, Scream has 50% still saved up. Gary's only got 14%. So he's had to try and defend, I think, from Killer Blue. Killer Blue's even got 50% of his own. As Hardy once again having a bit of a spin. I don't know if that was at the exit of the pit lane or what. Before turn 1 he had a spin, but yeah. So Hardy going around once again down in 17th position. But things are going to get a bit interesting now Because Gary, you can see that red flashing light on the back of his car. Scream. You can see he's using his ERS now to try and get a move done on Car Mentalist, and you can see he's gaining ever so more. He's going to be flying past Maledictus. Is he going to try and go for 2 in towards turn 1? They're 3 wide into turn 1. Maledictus has gone into the wall, and Car Mentalist just squeezed in the middle of that. Maledictus gone, and Scream's got no front wing as well. Safety car has been deployed. Gary is now into the lead of the race.
Yeah, they tried to get 3 whites for turn 1. I honestly don't think that's even possible. Now this results in a lot of things changing. Killer's got a 5 second for ignoring yellow flags. I think that might be a penalty to be removed, but if he needs to pit, it can't obviously be removed. So we'll have to see if they decide to pit. But it has allowed TDB and Packer, and Kuhn as well, they're going to be on fresh softs now. Knuf obviously wasn't fresh mediums, or like relatively fresh mediums, from a couple laps ago. So it'll be interesting if they decide to pit and or get through the field.
Yeah, I think this is definitely shaking up this race for sure. So Gary somehow is now in the lead of this race. Killer Blue picking up that 5 second penalty, which hopefully, as I said, it may be removed in the race. Oh, after the race, shall I say. Is in second. Nolan is once again back on this podium, and instead of third this time, he's now technically in a net second position. This gives Car Mentalist the freedom of being able to make a pit stop as well, but are we going to see any of these top guys make their way into the pits? Like you said, Knuf and Prosuela, they came in and put on a fresh set of medium tyres. TDB and Packer, they came in, they've now got a fresh set of softs to go to the end of the race. Tibbles and Hardy have got a fresh set of softs. The gap's going to be all closed up. Are these top 5 going to be making their way into the pits? We'll keep our eye out on it as Gary, let's have a look, he's just going down in the middle of the track. Are we going to see him make his way in? No. So the Irishman's staying out, Killer Blue staying out, Nolan staying out, Car Mentalist in, Slash is in. Zarma, are we going to see him make his way into the pits? No, he is staying out as well. Dopelev into the pits, Scream into the pits, Kriko into the pits, Knuth I think is going to be staying out as well. So Knuth, yeah, he's definitely staying out. He's going to try and get a bit of an advantage, but now Slash, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be the leading soft runner. That's going to put a bit of a hinder on TDB and Packer for trying to move their way through, as Car Mentalist has gone on hard.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine that's on purpose. I reckon he selected the wrong tyres then. Interesting.
Bit of a Ferrari strategy call from Car Mentalist. I don't think he meant to do that. So, yeah, I'm assuming we'll see the McLaren driver come into the pits at the end of this lap, chuck on a fresh set of softs, because otherwise he's just going to be completely left for dust. But Slash is now our leading soft runner. Going to be all over the back of Knuth. This is really going to hurt Knuth's chances of being able to take this win for tonight. Especially he's got Zarma, Nolan, Killer Blue and Gary all up ahead of him. Of course, Zarma and Killer Blue, weirdly enough, Zarma having a penalty, but Zarma and Killer Blue having a penalty. Of course, Killer's probably subject to be removed, for example.
Yeah, Zarma has a 5 second as well. I don't know what for, but I could imagine could be a removable one as well.
So Knuth really does have it all to play for. He needs to try and get some sort of move done on Killer and on Zarma at least. Well, and Nolan. And I'll tell you what, it's not easy to overtake in those 3 at all. So, yeah, I think Knuth, he still has that chance, but I think it's going to be tight.
Yeah, I'm going to give credit to the top 4 guys for essentially staying out of trouble here, because it's proven to be quite difficult to do.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we didn't see any of those top 4 make their pit stop, but, well, it could pay out for them in the end. You just never know. There, of course, is still 8 more laps left to go once that safety car has passed the line. There's 8 more laps left to go of this race. Gary is the one that is in the lead of it. Killer in second, Nolan in third, and Zarma in fourth. Knuth is in 5th and is still on to win this championship for tonight. Packer is picking up a point at least. And in fact, who's got the fastest lap of the race so far? It's Matt Tibbles. So Matt Tibbles with the fastest lap at the moment. But Knuth is still on to win this race. Car Mentalist 5 second penalty for speeding in the pits. Well, now makes his way in to check, put on a fresh set of the soft tyres. So Car Mentalist, the race just got bad from bad to worse for him when he put on the harder compounded tyre. So yeah, Car Mentalist I think is just going to be sort of kicking himself for that one. But yeah, I think there's going to be some very interesting things going on, shall I say.
Yeah, definitely. I reckon we could see a lot of action in the last couple laps once Hardy and Tibbles have closed up towards the train, which I imagine they'll do this lap. Yeah, it's still 16 drivers in competition, which honestly I'm surprised by at this rate. Yeah, we'll see if Gary and Killer and Nolan Zuidema, if they can hold on to their positions. It'll be tough to do in this all the sets of mediums.
Yeah, I really don't know how this is going to play out. According to Campbell, he said he's not. Gary has said he was not planning on pitting, so I don't know if he's left himself in a bit of a bad spot. But I really don't know. I genuinely, there could be another safety car that could come out, and that's just really going to help those medium runners. But at the moment, I think they're a bit of a sitting duck. I think Knuth might have a very good opportunity because those softs tend to die, like you said. They tend to die off probably after about 4 laps. So
yeah,
the last 4 laps, the guys that are on the set of softs are going to be struggling. So I really don't know. I feel like Knuth could have this win, but I really don't know how this is going to play out.
Yeah, it's so open at the moment that it's quite hard to predict. Let's see if the safety car does go in. It might be a later call. I've not had it at the moment. We could also be going on for one more lap. Who knows?
That'll be a late call.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Indeed. So Gary will be leading the grid for the safety car restart.
And I think that's probably what Gary would have wanted, is a late call one, because now that gives him the freedom to be able to just try and warm up them tyres a bit more. And he needs to get a very good launch off of this restart. Remember, like I said in the first safety car restart, you can't overtake before the start-finish line. So Gary, he wants to try and minimise this as much as possible. And in fact, yeah, he's already gone. Killer Blue is going to have that slipstream on it. Nolan has been caught napping. So has Zaldema and Knuth as well. As in fact, Slash now trying to go down inside of Knuth in towards turn 1. Broken later than the German. And I think Knuth is not going to try and fight that one too hard. He knows he just needs to try and maximise the amount of points as he possibly can. And not only that, he's now got Dope Level all over the back of him. Knuth, I don't think he's going to be able to try and put up a bit more of a fight coming in towards turn 3. So let's have a look at Slash. He's now gotten past his fellow TTG driver as a Commentalist, getting passed by Hardy as well. In fact, I think they're both side by side coming in towards turn 3. But yeah, Knuth does remain in 6th position at the moment. So he's managed to stay up at least ahead of the majority of the soft runners. Only Slash is the one that has gotten past. Slash could now be on to take this win for tonight. He's all over the back of Zaldema coming through turn 5. But Zaldema, a little bit of a lock up from him, but a little bit of a lock up from Slash as well, has just completely stopped him from trying to go for any sort of move. But Gary is the one that manages to maintain the lead of this race. Killer Blue in second as, oh my god, Dope Lev almost going into the back of Knuth. TDB also trying to find some sort of way past Emily Scream coming through this castle section. Looks like everything's sort of relatively clean. Scream, I think, having a little bit of a touch on the back right of his wheel on Castle. When saying that, there's been a lot of contact through the Castle. Kunblai and Hardy both touching at Castle. I don't know if Hardy went was the one that spun and Kunblai went into him, or vice versa, but Kunblai has got no wing and got a 5-second penalty for it.
Yeah, I think Kun was the one ahead, so he might have hit the wall at the Carlson, and Hardy may have just hit him, unable to avoid. Looking at the front, we have Gary almost a second clear. This is incredible to see, and further down the grid we have Packer and TDB very close together now. TDB won't give this up easily, obviously helping out this teammate, but Packer is going to get through. Actually, TDB has damage. Massive damage.
It's very surprising to me.
As Dope Left and Pro Sweetler are also fighting for 7th and 8th here, and Dope just seems to be able to hold on to 7th place. Knuth is onto the back of Slash once again, and Slash is not fighting this. That's quite interesting. He's just tugging in behind. So Knuth is back up into 5th place.
Pro Sweetler trying to drive that down the inside of Dope Lev into turn 3. And TDB's gone around at the exit of the pit lane. I think it was. Oh no, sorry, no, that's my mistake.
No.
Matt Tibos, or I don't know what has happened. Oh,
Hardy
no, Hardy
just retired.
That's it. Hardy's retired from session, so my apologies on that one. But yeah, so TDB's made his way in and came back out 20 seconds behind Carmentalist, so he's going to try and go for that fastest lap. But yeah, Pro Sweetler tried diving out the inside of Dope Lev, and it just did not work out for him. He's now gotten himself a 3-second time penalty. Not only that, he's now lost out of position to Emily Scream as well. So Pro Sweetler, this has just not worked out for him, and I can't see any damage. I think he's just getting swamped by the soft runners.
Yeah, it does look like he's quite slow though. So either he's just not feeling it on those medium sides, or he gets still some slight damage we can't pick up on stream. We'll have to see about that further on. Meanwhile, Slash is done to the back of Knuf, and they don't seem to be able to get through these guys at the moment, which is going to be interesting, as I think Tibbles has lost it through the castle section or something like that. I'm not sure what's happened. Packer's going to get through, and Pro Sweetler here, he is pulling alongside. Pro Sweetler is fighting it though, but I think Packer's managing to get alongside and through. Pro Sweetler is actually in, so and he's crashed into the pit lane.
Oh dear, oh dear. No. Is that going to be a cause for another safety car? Oh my goodness, it is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It is as well.
Oh my goodness. This is benefiting these other medium runners in front.
Yeah, I was on board with Chris Wheatler, and he tried to take the pit entry quite quickly and just kind of crashed.
So that's not worked out for the Swedish driver. Unfortunately, 2 races now in League of Europe and second DNF to his name as well. Yeah, Gary though does manage to maintain that lead of the race. However, he got that gap from Killer Blue up to about 1.3 seconds. So I don't think Gary's going to be too happy with that. However, I don't think he's going to be sort of kicking in and stuff like that either, because if he has another good restart, he could just make sure that Killer Blue just stays behind him, and then really that's all he'll need to do. So Gary still has an opportunity of winning this race. Nolan needs to try and find a way past Killer Blue if he wants a chance of winning this race as well, as Knuf needs to try and get past Zadama, needs to try and get past Nolan and Killer Blue. The interesting thing I'm thinking though, are we going to see Killer and Zadama make a pit stop? Because if they make a pit stop, they're going to have to serve those penalties, which means they won't be able to get it removed at the end. But they'll be on a set of the soft tyres.
I've just got informed that both Killers and Zadama's pins are likely to be removed. Obviously not for certain, but it is a likely thing apparently. So I reckon they won't pit, they'll take the track position, because I don't think we'll have many laps of racing, seeing guys like Kuhn and Tibbles being about 50 seconds off the pack. We'll probably be going for 3 or 4 laps of racing here, so it would be quite a waste of track position, I reckon.
Yeah, it certainly would be. Looking at the top 5, yeah, none of them made their pit stop. I don't think anybody's going to make a pit stop unless they have some sort of damage. In fact, saying that, Creeco and Commentalist have come in.
Commentalist makes sense, because he has a 5-second penalty. He's going to try and serve that and get through. Creeco I'm not too sure about. He might have some slight damage. Nope, he's just picking up a fresh set of softs. I guess it makes sense. Doesn't seem like he'll lose any track position.
Yeah, it looks like he'll still come out ahead of TDB. I don't think Commentalist will come out ahead of TDB though, so TDB is at least going to inherit 11th position. But yeah, Creeco does still come out ahead of TDB, so he'll be on at least a fresher set of soft tyres. Thing is, he's now going to have to try and battle Packer up in front of him. He's on 5-lap old soft tyres, so those softs are probably almost at their drop-off rate. So Packer may need to do quite a bit of a defensive manoeuvre if he wants a chance of being able to stay in this title fight. At the moment, it will still go over to Japan, where Packer is in 9th and Knuf is in 5th. And that gap, if I'm not mistaken, Knuf picking up 10 and Packer picking up 4. That's a 6 points, so it's 23 points. No, it's not 23 points. That's an absolute lie. It's 41 points. 41 points will be the gap between Knuf and Packer going into Japan, so that still gives Knuf a massive advantage. The only thing he needs to try and do is get past, well, if he needs to get past Adama, he needs to get past Nolan, and he needs to get past Killer Blue to at least have that opportunity of potentially winning for tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and it might be a bit easier considering, of course, those guys' tyres are 16, 17 and 18 laps old, and they're shredding to pieces at this point, so I have to see if they can even hold on. Obviously the safety cars will have helped them quite a bit. Yeah, overall they'll be in a much worse state than the other guys behind them.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was just about to say, where they have gotten, or where these safety cars have come out, it's sort of helped them massively to try and preserve their tyres a bit more. So where they've done 17 laps, they've probably done about 6 of them under the safety car, for example, rather than actual 6 laps of racing where they could have pretty much gone off by now. So yeah, I feel like this has definitely helped them for sure. yeah, and you are right. Campbell has put in the chat saying that they've both sort of gotten those illegal overtakes from a crashed car, so they'll more than likely be removed at the end of the, or once the series reports do come out next week. So, yeah, at the moment it is Gary in first, Killer Blue in second, and Nolan in third. Zadma in fourth and Knuth in fifth. Those are the top 5 at the moment. Slash just could not seem to get a move stuck on Knuth, despite being on a softer compounder tyre. I'm really surprised that Slash hasn't been able to try and capitalise on those soft tyres, especially considering that it was on brand new ones and everybody else up ahead of him are on quite old medium tyres.
He initially got past Knuth, and then Knuth seemed to get back at him, and Slash didn't seem to really fight it anymore. So let's see what happens here on the restart as well. Yeah, Slash, obviously the guys, Slash, Dope, Scream and Packer, they'll have slightly older softs as well, so their advantage probably is faded away at this point.
Yeah, so really it is all to play for. I think at the moment Knuth is probably the one with the biggest advantage at the moment. 8 lap old medium tyres compared to everybody else up in front of him. Zaldemar at probably the biggest disadvantage with 19 lap old mediums. However, knowing Zaldemar, he has preserved those tyres like they're his own children. So Zaldemar's probably, his tyre life is probably still better than what Nolan's, Killers and Gary's are up in front. And probably almost equivalent to what Knuth has in with 8 lap old medium tyres. So Zaldemar, don't think he's at much of a disadvantage. It's more those top 2 of Gary and Killer Blue. They just need to make sure that their tyres don't go pop. And at the moment, I think the safety car is helping them that it's not going to go pop. However, it's now in this lap, and we're going to be having 3 laps of racing. The final lap, DRS will be enabled. So that, I think, the final lap is where chaos is going to ensue.
We could definitely see it, but who knows, maybe we'll see something before it if someone gets a bad restart or whatever could happen. We'll have to see. Gary's leading the field here at a decent pace. 4th gear he's holding it, and he's probably going to go around the same spot as he went last time. I could imagine so. Yes, he did, and there he goes, and Killer is awake. Killer is awake. He can't overtake before the line, but he's going to pull alongside. He's going to have to wait before the line, and he gets up down the inside for turn 1. He seems to be through just about. Gary's going to try the switchback, but he can't pull it off for now. Killer's into the lead.
Yeah, so Killer literally just after the line, he gets the move done. As TDB, Packer's gone round as well. Packer, the championship second. Packer. Oh my goodness. So TDB and Packer both coming together once again. Packer now down in last place, or the last of the remaining runners. Knuth still in 5th with 10 points. He needs to get these moves done. Knuth, if you are hearing this, you need to get these moves done. And in fact, I say that, he's trying to go down the inside of Zaldemar in towards turn 5. He can't get the move done. A German's just going to have to sit behind the Red Bull driver for now. Although saying that, he's trying to go down the inside in towards turn 7, I believe. And no, he's just going to have to back out of that one as well. As Slash almost going into the back of the German driver. But yeah, Zaldemar's just doing absolute, is doing absolute wonders to help him out. As Slash goes into the castle section. He touches the inside curb. And I don't know if he picked himself up any wing damage from that. But Slash now, ghosting through his teammate. I don't think he did pick up any damage from that, luckily. So Slash, I think, has just gotten away with that without any damage. But you can see he's just ghosting inside of his teammate.
Oh no.
What has
tried
happened there?
to make it too wide there with Kriko, and yeah, too wide for that corner does not work. Kriko's into the wall and out of the race. TDB probably has damage as well, I can imagine.
Yeah. TDB, I can see it, his front right end plate on his car, so... Oh! Scream's gone round!
Scream. All sorts of things happening right now as he's into the wall. I think I saw Packer going into the wall as well there, trying to avoid it. There's so much going on at the moment, I don't know where to look at, but we're looking at the top 5 here. As we have them still all close together. Knuth is onto the back of Zaldemar. Can he make a move down towards turn 3? He's going to be on the ERS now. He's got a decent exit, but Zaldemar is not got a bad exit either. And he is trying to use to defend as well. And seems to be staying ahead for now.
Yeah, and interesting thing as well, so Nolan just touching that inside curve in towards turn 3. Zaldemar, I thought he was going to maybe try and go for a move, but no, he just has to sit behind him for now. But yeah, at the moment, what I just seen, Packer went into the pits. He had no front wing, so he did hit the wall, the same place where Scream hit the wall. And funnily enough, I don't know how, he didn't lose a tyre from that either, so he's just having to sit behind him for now.
She's got out for seconds. I'm going to take it over. Knuf is still onto the back of Sedema, hound in the back of the Red Bull. Can he get away through? It's going to be tough to do it anywhere else but the main straight. We're going to have a lap and a half to go. Meanwhile, looking at Fermentalist onto the back of Slash as well. Slash might have some damage still from that move earlier on to the castle section. Don't really know about it, but he does seem to be off the pace quite a bit. Knuf is going to be onto the back of Sedema. Killer is still leading ahead of Gary. Gary's going to obviously get the DRS on the last lap as Knuf gets past Sedema before the straight even through the SS and is up ahead in 4th place.
Yeah, so Knuf now up into 4th. This is what he needs to do. He needs to get past Nolan. Nolan now out of that DRS as well. Once it does get activated on the next lap, and Gary's going to try and go for the move in towards turn 1 on Killer Blue. I think he's actually just going to sit behind him. He knows he needs to have that DRS on Killer Blue. I wonder though, is he going to go for that move in towards turn 3? We're now on to the final lap of the race, and at the moment Killer Blue is the one in the lead. However, he has that 5-second penalty, again subject to be removed. But now Gary, he's on for his first race win, his legit first race win I suppose of this season. He did pick one up in Silverstone earlier on in the season. He's now trying to go around the outside of Killer Blue in towards turn 3. He touches the wall ever so slightly, shows by both of them still side by side. Gary just trying to hold it down the inside as Knuf has gotten the move done on Nolan. He needs one more car to try and get this move, or 2 more cars to get these moves done. If he can get past Gary and if he can get past Killer Blue in this final lap, then Knuf has practically just won this championship. He needs to do this. This is the final lap. Are we going to be seeing an absolute wonder from Knuf on this final lap? He's got only a few more corners that he needs to try. Well, obviously the S section is where he's going to be able to get it done. He's got the ERS to do it. Gary's barely got any ERS to play with. Killer has got enough to defend. However, is it going to be enough to defend from Gary and from Knuf? They're all so close together, and Knuf all over the back of Gary. The German might actually just be sneaking it in. So we're now coming up towards the final corner. Knuf, he's going to be breaking it around the 100 metre board to get this, try and line this up on these two, and he's all over the back of them. Are we going to be seeing Gary either take his first race win, or are we going to be seeing Knuf take this championship tonight? And here we go, ERS usage being used, red flashing light on the back of Gary's car. Knuf, he's going to go for that move. Oh, Gary just moving in front of him, a little bit of contact between the pair of them. Both of them, DRS now wide open. Is Knuf going to get this move done? DRS, he's going to try and go for it in towards the finish line, and no, he gets it. Oh wait, no. Did he? No, he didn't get it.
I don't think he gets it. I don't think he gets it, obviously subject to the penalty being removed. We would assume that Killer would have got it. The gap is 4.957, so...
Killer does take the win.
Though.
Wow.
He would take the win, yeah.
What a race that was. At this present moment, Knuf is our championship winner. Obviously, we're subject for those, for the penalties to be removed. But at the moment, Knuf is our winner. Gary's second and Nolan in third. What a race that has been. It was absolute chaos. But oh my goodness. That wow. That's all I can say is just wow.
Insane. The top 3 on the line, they were covered by about 1.5 tenths. It's just mad to see.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Not even a 1/10 of a second has he managed to get that win off of Gary. Although saying that, as I said, Killer Blue subject to getting that 5-second penalty removed. Wow. That, yeah, absolutely insane race. That ending was... Wow. I've got no words for it. I've really got no words for it. Knuf, at this present moment, subject to before any penalties being removed or anything like that, is our champ for Division 2. He's taken the win for tonight at the line, ahead of Gary in second and Nolan in third. Car Mentalist, by the way, manages to push it up into fourth. Doblev finishing in fifth, with Slash in sixth. Killer Blue, again, 5-second penalty subject to being removed, but finishes in 7th with Zadama in 8th, Tibos in 9th, and TDB in 10th, again, subject to stewards reports, because that was quite aggressive driving from TDB, to say the least. It was very sort of, it was quite bad, to be honest with you. Kumbla in 11th, Packer in 12th, picking up the final point, and then our DNFers of Scream, Creeko, Pro Sweetler, Hardy, Maledictus, and I didn't manage to catch that last one, but Ariel Coxey, that was it.
It's Coxey.
Yeah, there was that. Honestly, that was probably one of the most insane races that I have ever seen towards the end. I think the only one that was a bit more insane was probably Division 3 of last season with Mark and Rudy. But do you want to try and get those top 3 into the party just whilst I have a little bit of a rest? Because that was absolutely insane ending.
Yeah, I'll try to get these guys into the party. It was absolutely mad to see that. Let's have a look if I can get these guys in.
But yeah, so that championship, at this present moment, if it does stick the way, and if for whatever reason Killer Blue doesn't get that 5 seconds removed, then Knuth will take that championship. Obviously, I'm assuming we'll see Killer get that 5 seconds removed, which means that he will inherit the race win. But yeah, despite that, that was still an insane ending. In fact, actually, I've just realised Packers only picked up 1 point. Knuth picked up 18 points, 17. So they are tied. They will be tied. Or not tied, sorry. They'll be 52 points. Anyway.
Yeah, so theoretically, if Packer would get a win and a fast lap on both occasions, and then Knuth wouldn't score any points in the last 2 rounds, then he could take it. I think on Cowback as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we'll have to see about that if the 5 seconds from Killer gets removed. But I think I'm getting to manage these guys to add to the party. So we'll see if they do join, and I do expect that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely insane ending. As I said, if it is the case it does slide that way, then yeah, I think we're going to be seeing Knuth try and take well, Knuth could be winning this championship, but I really don't know how this is going to play out.
Definitely, we'll have to see about that.
Yeah, that was an absolutely insane race ending, and I'm sure Mr. Ariel Nolan wasn't expecting himself to be back on the podium again for this week. Nolan, once again, a second week in a row.
I mean, I just want to say before this, I got P4. Well, essentially, I should do. I think Jake's 5 second was for me hitting him under the safety car, so I'd assume he gets the podium. I bottled a podium. I cried so much.
He got it from ignoring yellow flag, so I would assume it's due to the crash. Due to the crash there.
Yeah, I'd assume he'd get taken off him if he doesn't, and it's a bit silly. But I'll take P4 anyway and pretend that we got a podium for now.
Yeah, no, I suppose that's the way to go about it. So yeah, I mean, at the moment you are on the podium, and again, that's subject to if Killer Blue does get that 5 seconds removed. But yeah, on the podium at the moment. What a race that was, because I think you had a pretty decent qualifying, and once again you've now managed to convert that into another podium. What was that race like for you?
Oh, that was horrible. It was the last 5 laps. My tyres just seemed terrible. There was a point I wanted to actually pit under the safety car, like the second one, but Aiden was behind me and he hadn't pit yet, and he was giving me the whole speech of, "Listen, mate, I know you want to pit." And then he pitted and put the hards on and then sped in the pit lane. So I was a bit angry, but it turned out to be the better decision anyway. Gary and Jake were weird because I thought I was faster than them in the first 2 sectors, and in the last corner, their exit, turn 16 or something, their exit was so good, and they'd always be almost out of DRS every time. So my aim was it's my motto to not try overtake people. So I had one crack at Jake, I think, when he hit the wall. I thought he had damage. I don't know if he did, but I thought he had really bad damage, and he didn't. So I thought I could have a crack, but he's running 9.9 wings didn't quite work out for me down the straight. But overall, I'm just happy that I didn't crash for 2 weeks in a row, and this whole don't overtake people motto is working out quite well at the moment, and the push for P10 is on.
Well, I mean, you've certainly closed that one up now a lot more. I mean, if we go off of the fact that this penalty hasn't been removed yet, you go up to 52 points, which is only 2 behind Mark, who is in 10th in this championship at the moment. So yeah, it's still on for yourself for that P10. I was actually just about to ask about that as well, with everyone in that top 4 not making that pit stop. I was going to ask, was that an intention of you coming in, and or was it the case that you always wanted to stay out? But I mean, you've kind of already answered that anyway. So, I mean, next week we've got Japan. Is that a race that is sort of favourable for yourself, or are you thinking I'm going to just try and do the exact same thing for what you've done for the past 2 weeks and just hope it works again?
I mean, with Japan, last game I was really good at it, but it's very different this time. I think I've only done like 3 laps on it this game. I know last game was like, that was one of my tracks that I was the best at, so I'm hoping it's similar. Honestly, I'm just going to try. I just don't overtake people now. That's the aim. Unless it's under a safety car when my car tries to dive bomb Jake apparently. But overall, like, I'm just going to try to sit behind people. I literally imagined Gary in the party when I was behind him under the safety car, like, because I'm trying to get rid of the whole, oh, for God's sake, no one's behind me. I could just imagine that in the party chat. So I'm going to chill behind people, hope for them to crash, and then hopefully not get P9 in quali, because that's the best lap I did, and then it ended up being like, at Baku, it's one of the worst places to start, so let's try to do the same.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Verstappen, got any questions for Nolan for tonight?
Not overly, just want to say well done on staying out of trouble, because that seemed to be the issue for many people today.
Yeah, I heard some complaints in the party chat. I heard TDB rattled a few people this race, but overall, I want to just say sorry to Jake, because it was a dumb thing. I was just trying to avoid Aiden. Everyone slowed down, and then Aiden, I don't know what happened, but I had to swerve and then I hit Jake. But I think it should get removed, hopefully. And luckily for me, like, the points difference between third and fourth isn't too bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's 3 points, so you'll still have that opportunity to try and close up to P10 in those standings. But yeah, thank you very much, Nolan. Congratulations once again. At the moment, 4 P3, or at very worst P4. Very good drive from yourself indeed. And we shall now move on over to our current second place man, Mr. XL Gary. So close to getting that win for tonight. I know you're fuming, I think, is probably the best way to describe that. Talk us through that race from you.
Well, first as it stands, Canute is champion, so I would like to congratulate him first, because he's drove really well this season and he 100% deserves it, unless Stewart's change it and it goes to Japan, which I think he'll probably finish it off there anyway. But yeah, congrats to him anyway. But yeah, what was the question again? Sorry, I've completely forgotten.
I was just gonna say, like, how was that race for you? Like towards the end though, because that looked like that was stress. That's the only way I can describe it. That was stress.
Yeah, it was quite stressful. Typical Baku race, to be honest. Yeah, the start of the race was a bit. Slash got damaged, and he sort of made me lose the train to TDB and Canute, and then we had TDB crash, and then yeah, later on in the race, those safety cars didn't. Well, I don't know. Maybe I need to work on my safety car restart, I think, because yeah, that's really cost me. Yeah, I'm really annoyed right now at myself, because I felt like I had that win. I felt like I was in control. I think I was quicker than Jake. I just couldn't get back ahead, and then obviously Canute got me on the line as well, because I was trying to get past, and he had all the ERS. But yeah, I think that just sums up my. What's the word? Not even luck, just my driving the last couple of seasons. It's just not been. Just that little bit is missing at the end, and I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's a podium. We've had a shit season, so another podium isn't terrible. But yeah, I felt like I should have won this race tonight.
Did you just swear on stream?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, no. Oh, Nolan and Gary in a podium party. Let's have an argument. Come on.
Yeah, no, I don't want to think about what's going to be happening with that. But yeah, I mean, as I said, like, and I asked Nolan the same thing as well, or he basically told me about it. You was obviously leading the race at the second safety car, and a lot of guys behind you made that pit stop on the set of softs. Did you not want at all not want to come in to take to chuck on a fresh set of softs to at least try and get a bit more of an advantage?
No, definitely not. I think straight away my mindset was, well, I'm P1 now, so and I knew not everyone was going to pit. I knew the likes of Nolan wasn't going to pit, and a couple of other guys. I knew there was going to be a decent gap between the guys that had pitted and the guys that hadn't. Sorry, excuse me. And yeah, I just felt like staying out track position. I didn't really fancy trying to get through 4 or 5 drivers, even if I had fresher tyres. I wasn't really in the mindset. I always prefer to be the guy defending anyway, not attacking. But yeah, I think what I did, saying it was probably the best thing that I could have done, to be honest. I think just that last safety car, me making an absolute balls of the safety car restart, cost me and nothing else, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I get that as well. And as I said, it did look like absolute stress at the end with that. Japan next week. Is this one that you may try and get a much better result, or well, I say much better, try and at least take the win next week, or are you just hoping to get just some sort of points for next week?
I don't know, to be honest. I really like Japan. Japan's a nice track, but in this game the curves are lethal, and I haven't driven it in a while. But I guess just a good result. I'm just looking for some consistency towards the end of the season. I think it's been very up and down, like good race, bad race, good race, bad race. I can just finish on like a decent points haul. I'll be happy enough. But yeah, like tonight, I didn't come into this race expecting anything. Like I only practiced today, so like to be fighting for the win was pretty.
All right,
mad.
TDD, calm down, mate.
Yeah, I gotta get that in there.
I'm really slow.
I'm really slow, but yeah, no expectations. Just try and have a bit of fun and see what happens. So yeah, that'll be the plan next week.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And Verstappen, any questions for Gary for tonight?
I more have some advice. You need to work on your safety car restarts. I think you said it, but I called that second safety car restart basically right on. So you made it look a bit predictable, and Killer took advantage of it. So a focus point for you, I guess.
Cheers for that advice. I know you've won a lot of races in Division 1s and have led a lot of safety cars. I'll take that under consideration next time. So cheers. I'm joking.
He's not really joking, but yeah. Right. Now, I suppose we better move on to our current Division 2 champion, Knuth. What a race that was, especially that comeback at the end. How are you feeling now, my friend? Because as I said, at this present moment, you are our Division 2 champion.
I don't know, to be honest. I was stressed the whole race, and it was just messy like Baku always is. And to be honest, I don't know if I have the championship secured or not because of all the penalties and penalty removals and stuff like that. So I guess I have to wait and see, but I'm so happy with that race.
I don't blame you. I really do not blame you at all. That was, at first, or I'll say now, within like the first, I think 3 laps when that first safety car came out, I was just saying it for Verstappen as well. We were surprised. I think you guys had already passed the pit lane, but if not, then I was surprised that one of you didn't sort of just jump into the pits before like any safety car or anything like that was announced. Because then, you at least you would have had a bit more of a jump than what the other guys would have done by making that pit stop. But it still worked out for yourself anyway, because you're still here. So yeah, at least, or at most, sorry, you are P2. If Keller does get that 5 seconds removed. But yeah, I mean, this season overall for yourself, there's been times where you've been outside of the top 10 and gone straight back in at the top 10 and even won from outside the top 10. A lot of people like to call you the reverse Strat-Ho, shall I say.
Old Strat-Ho.
The old Strat-Ho. Sorry, yeah, the old Strat-Ho. Obviously tonight, that wasn't what you did. You kind of went from third all the way down, and then everybody else just crashed in front of you, and you still managed to get this win at the moment. Yeah, I can only just commend you for that one, because that's not exactly an easy thing to do. So yeah, massive congratulations for you on that one. Japan's next week. I know, as I said, if this 5-second penalty gets removed for Killer Blue, if he puts it in, then of course it means that you've got exactly a 52-point lead up ahead of Packer for next week. At least we'll know then you'll be solidified as the champion if you at least score 1 point. Is Japan one where you're definitely going to look to solidify it if he gets his 5 seconds removed?
Yeah, definitely. If it's not safe today, then I want it to be safe next week. And it's looking pretty good. And Japan is one of my better tracks, so I hope that I get a good result, no matter if I have the championship secured now or not. But yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. GG to basically the whole league, and especially today to the podium. To Nolan too, if he keeps it, because it was a really cool and exciting race, and also with that last straight, I mean, it was really close, to put it into words.
Yeah, no, it certainly was. And as I said, if it is the case that you are the Division 2 champion today, then honestly, kudos. I don't think that it was a long season battle between you and Packer, but at the moment, I feel like you're the one that's just been at it on top throughout the entire time. Verstappen, you got any questions for our current division? I suppose our current Division 2 champion for tonight.
Well, I don't think I have any questions. Just huge applauding for you. I think in the first half of the season, you maybe lacked a little bit of pace here and there, quality especially, but you always managed to put it back into the race and get decent results. And then I think it was like from halfway down the season onwards, you started to pick up massive amounts of pace and just, well, became insanely quick. So it was well done to see the improvement there, and well done on the professional, as I'd like to call it, D2 title.
No, thanks, mate.
No, without a doubt, and as I said, I don't think there's anyone that else that deserves it, to be honest with you, other than yourself. So, if it isn't wrapped up today, obviously next week I'm sure we will see it wrapped up. As I said, everyone, next week, the penultimate round, Suzuka Circuit, round number 16 of 17. Make sure you are all tuning in for that one at 6:30 p.m. GMT for Division 1, 3 and 4, and then 8:10 p.m. GMT for Division 2 and Division 5. Thank you to everyone for tuning in for tonight, and we will catch you guys next week, as I said, for the penultimate round around Suzuka.